looking at our sound, again, our sound shapes here, just breaking down exactly which sound shapes for your dialogue here. And again, I'd recommend you guys actually write this stuff out. Write out exactly what the words are for your dialogue, and then write down the exact sound shapes for your dialogue are. So you have this exact plan going into your animation, and it'll make your blocking of your mouth shapes go super, super fast. So here is Marnie with my dialogue in here. Let me play that.
Yeah, sure. When did she come over?
Going back to what our sound shapes that we're applying to is, so we first start with yeah, so that's going to go to an E, ah, and then sure, oh, yeah, sure, and then going to a neutral. All right, so let's go ahead and start just applying this. So we have our neutral pose here. Let me go ahead and hit sure everything's selected. Okay. S, save that out. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a neutral pose, and we're going to start. Remember, if yeah starts here, and we're going from an E to a ah, yeah, we want to make sure we start out, remember, 2 to 3 frames before the actual sound starts. So it's at 105. Let's go back 2 to 103, and let's now apply our E pose. E. Make sure that when you apply it, you got to hit S and save it. Okay, so we have our neutral. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure happens here at 125. Let's go back 2 to 123. For our yeah, sure, we have the ooh pose. Now for me, I'm thinking, sure, that might be a little too much, sure. So I might want to tap that down a little bit. That works. All right, now let's keep going on. So we have, yeah, sure. So the next thing we're going to do is go back to our neutral. Yeah, sure. Getting out of that ooh to a more neutral pose. So let's go to our neutral. A neutral pose here at 135. Hit S to save it. Now we're going to, for the sure, we're going to go to when. So we're going to go to ooh to an E, when. So the when starts around 149. We're going to go back 2 to 147 for the ooh. S. And then ooh, N, E. And the N, the when, and the E for the when happens around 150. When, actually around 151 when, so let's go back 2 to 149 for the E, when, and then going into can, she is going to a ah for can, she, E for she, can starts around 150, 154, let's go back 2 for the ah for can, the S, she is 157. Let's go back 2 for the E and she. The S. And then going into come over. A to M, come. That happens around 161. Let's go back 2. Then we're going for the A for ka. Around 161. The S. Can she come over, O, and then F and V, F and V for ver. O, around 164, so let's go back to O, and then ver. Ver happens 168, let's go back to for F and V. And then goes back to neutral right at the end here at 172. Again, what you can see, very simple. Now we have our first pass of blocking with her dialogue. So yeah, sure, when can she come over? Very easy. Here's the result.
Yeah, sure. When can she come over?
See? So it's really simple. We have our first pass of blocking already done. And what did that take, like a long 5 minutes for you to watch me to do it? But you can see how once you have the Studio Library tool all set up, blocking goes pretty dang fast. once you have, again, all your mouth poses done, and then you have your essential plan of attack on how you're going to be going about applying which mouth shapes you want to use for each syllable. And it gets you pretty quick results.